Welcome back, everyone, to an episode that's almost in progress. We had some good stuff behind the scenes here, but another show. All four guys are here. This is just great. This is what makes the show. So, at least from my view here, Fabling, myself, Hubie Brown, Ryan Martin. Ryan looking great there, kind of matching up the shirt with the watch and
Trying,
product placements on point
trying.
right there.
I think pretty soon I'll
Um,
have more options for matching, but for now I'm
That
doing
is
the best
true.
I
That
can.
is
Ooh,
true. About to let the cat out of the bag there. I like it. See, that's why they pay us the big bucks to do these
Yep.
shows like this because of the way we transition and our
segue.
backgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah. So, welcome back, folks. Happy Sony Open Week. It's one of the best weeks of the year. It's like the sixth major for me. They got rid of they got rid of Kapalua, which really was one of the probably like the sixth major for me. So there's a whole article that somebody's putting out on Instagram, like this six series thing on is this the end of Hawaiian golf? And if it is, like that may be the point where I write a letter to the tour. I'm sure they'll take it.
You better hurry up.
Mr. Rollap, well, I get to introduce myself to him and expound on the fact that Hawaii should be a part of the PGA Tour. But uh, welcome back, everyone. Any exciting things over the last week for anybody?
I don't think so. How about Brooks Koepka coming back to tour though? That was pretty big
That is
news. That's pretty big
interesting.
news.
Does anybody
Yeah.
have any thoughts on that they want to share? I have thoughts on that.
Parker, you always have thoughts.
Yeah, that's probably
I
true.
I
mean,
mean,
It's not my
if
favorite. I
yeah,
don't like how they're just it's like it's just so obviously written for these like four. I mean, it's clearly written for these like four or five guys, and it's just like golf is not supposed to be that way. I understand that you deserve to be treated differently if you've won five majors and all that, but like from going to like, will these guys ever be able to play again? To be like, yeah, shoot, dude, come back. You can play in a couple weeks if you want. Whatever, we'll take you. I mean, I don't know. I'm in disagreement. I don't mind them being able to come back. I just wish that they would have. One of my thoughts was maybe let anybody that wants to come back, but your exemption status is where it sits right now. So like really the only guys that would be able to go back to the tour are guys that have won majors in the last, 10 years or whatever it is, and then guys that have won a tour event in the last 2 years. And if you don't, then you got to go get it back through Korn Ferry or whatever, and plus some kind of penalties or something too. But I don't know. That's my take
yeah,
on
I
that.
mean, it definitely doesn't seem fair to the guys that stuck it out, like especially those like bigger names, like
Hideki that supposedly turned down like a quarter
totally.
or three quarters of a billion or something to
Totally.
go.
Or imagine like somebody like Ricky Fowler who like has had success, but like I'm sure he could have gotten a ton of money from Live to
Oh
go. That
yeah.
would have been a huge name for them to get in the beginning. And then now just like they didn't come back. I thought it was funny though too. The way they worded it was basically to keep Phil has no chance, which was interesting. Like they did like 2022 and on if you won a major, but
Which
he
was
won it in 2021. It's
what they
kind of
say that was,
interesting.
you know, that's like the official formation of Live, I guess, was like
Yeah.
2022. So that's what they can kind
Yeah.
of get away with. But yeah,
It was interesting for sure.
yeah, I mean, the reality is we may never know what kind of penalties he had to leave live, and I think there's multiple aspects of it. One of the biggest ones, of course, is money because we're talking about how much money they got to leave, and then they quote unquote got all this money, and then they just get to come back. Well, maybe. It's not fully disclosed how much they got. It's all rumors. And then I don't think anybody that I've seen has said how much they had to pay to get out of the contract. Like, there's no really good way to know how much Brooks actually got net, to go over there and play. Obviously, you can see how much he made, like, winning over there. But yeah, that would be interesting to know, what he got to go over there, what he had to pay to get out, because we can see what kind of penalties he has to come back, giving up equity and all that stuff. Some of that's just hypothetical, but and then as Rory said, I mean, he's paid some price just in the sense that his reputation, won't ever be the same. Um, but yeah, it's clearly certain rules for certain players, and I think everybody just understands there's a limited number of guys that really push the face of the tour, and it's those guys. I mean, that's why they came up with the whatever the Comcast Top 10 and the whatever these popularity things that they've come up with over the last few years to pay out certain players, and it is what it is. I mean, who was it? Uh, who's the guy who just got his status back on Live? Um, Anthony
Anthony
Kim.
Kim.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Kim put out a tweet basically saying like a lot of people are giving Brooks crap, but at the end of the day, if you want special treatment, go win 5 majors and then you'll get special treatment. So,
And
you
he's
know,
not wrong in that completely. Like, I mean, you do deserve some better perks if you've won 5 majors. I don't disagree with that.
yeah.
Oh,
So
totally.
there was never going to be anything that everybody thought was fair because fair is subjective and everyone's opinion is different on that. And I think they did as good a job as they could do. But at the end of the day, they need to get as many of their faces back as they can get. And they had an opportunity to get one and they got him. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it
To-
definitely wasn't a good situation. Not much, probably not a great solution, but the end result is maybe worth it, positive for
I mean, there
everyone.
would be more fun scenarios for those of us that
Sure.
want to watch the live guys squirm a little bit, like making them go back to the Korn Ferry. They'd get a lot more eyes on the Korn Ferry, and in theory, he would, blow through it and qualify and come back the following year. But I'm not sure somebody of Brooks's caliber would agree to that. So,
how much fun would that be to watch though for a
right,
year? Like you
that's what I'm
said, like
saying. Like, it would be fun.
who who thinks on here that if John Rahm in March, let's say he doesn't hit this February 2nd date, which it sounds like nobody's going to hit. Do we really think that if John Rahm comes back in June's like, you know what, guys, I want to come back to the tour, that they're not going to let him come back now? Like, I don't, I'm not really like buying the February 2nd thing myself. I mean, there may be some additional penalties or whatever, but I think those guys are going to be able to come back whenever they want to.
I don't know. I think they may actually stick to a no mid-season transfers, but it does go back to what I said. If they have any opportunity to get some of those 3 or 4 guys back, they'll probably do whatever they can to get them. And
Which is understand. I mean, who doesn't
understandable.
want those
Yeah.
guys? I mean, you do want them. I do appreciate the um like doing something and putting it out there and like spelling it out and not being so like, where it's not like some big secret. Like, yeah, he came out, we're not going to disclose anything. I mean, at least they kind of came out and like gave some details on it.
Yeah, and I mean, and I appreciate a lot of these guys hopefully are being honest when they're talking about how much their personal life and family is going into this. I mean, Brooks basically said, hey, it's been rough being away from my family. Obviously, he had a tragedy that had a big part of it. Then you have Cam Smith basically saying, I did this in large part because it was hard for me to play, a full schedule when I'm from Australia. And this tour lets me play less and be with my family more. And I think that's why I thought when I saw Brooks come back, the only person who may actually come back would be Bryson because he lives over here. I mean, it's got to be easier on guys that live in Europe or Australia or Asia to play on that tour if it's important for them to have a better work-life balance, if you want to call it that. Um, but who knows how much of that is just, part of the statement that they give.
Well, and Rom, family obviously not, but I mean, Rom's an Arizona guy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Bryson, Bryson didn't sound as sure to me in his press
Neither one of them
conference.
sounded
So
too sure.
I uh I
Yeah.
don't know. I think this is a big obviously a big hit for Liv, and I'm not sure that he's the only one that's gonna leave. Um
They got
maybe
Ben on though. I mean,
they did get
he's
Ben on. They did. Yep.
that seems like a
So
fair swap.
they did get Ben on. They'll get some more people, but I really I really would not be surprised if things are drastically different this time in 2027 after Bryson's contract runs through and is Rom's up at the end of this year too. So, at that point they fulfilled their contract, I guess, at that point. So,
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to viewership, and I haven't looked at the numbers, but it sounds like Live Golf just cannot get the viewership to improve. I mean, I think I saw some stat or quote that as much as TGL is struggling, especially in this second year, it's still better than Live viewership. And, at some point, they're 4 years in now. You can't just keep going when you have terrible viewership. I mean, the guys, Bryson or whoever, can get more views on YouTube golf than at Live.
yeah, a
So
lot, probably a lot more.
you just can't do that for 10 years.
Justin, I know you've been itching to jump in. What are your thoughts?
I think I just want to see how it all plays out. I mean, I like watching golf. I like watching the best players in the world play golf. I don't want to get into all the politics and the money and how it all works. So I'm just gonna enjoy watching golf.
And there is our resident PGA Tour employee. Thank you for thank you for
The
that, Justin.
statement right
We
there. Seriously.
appreciate the statement, Mr. Rolap. And we will
No,
come
no
back to
hot
you.
takes for content there.
Yeah.
And Mr. Freeze is on here. Iceman. Okay. Moving along. We love you, Justin. Uh Sony Open. I'm just gonna go right into it. I'm so thrown now. That hot take just burned me up. Uh Sony Open. Two-way tie for the lead. Canadian Nick Taylor. He's used to the Hawaiian climate. Kevin Roy, both shot 8 under today, tearing it up. Ben Griffin. Oh, I do have a major announcement, Ben Griffin related. Off topic here, but awesome nonetheless. So, if anybody has seen what is it, the Tito's Shorties Classic or whatever, was played back in November and just came out on YouTube like yesterday. Um, So Ben was playing in that. His chosen charity was the Piedmont Triad Charitable Foundation, which is the group that runs the Wyndham Championship. And the money that he won, which he won the whole deal, he won is like 280 grand, was all getting pushed towards Asheville Municipal Golf Course,
Mm,
home of First Tee, Western North Carolina, and one of our programming facilities, and one that was devastated during Hurricane Helene. So huge shout out to Ben Griffin. Over $250,000 going to Asheville Municipal for his victory at the Shorties Classic. So that was awesome.
Nice.
And
very cool.
he's followed that up with a great round in Hawaii, 7 under T3 with sneaky new PGA Tour player this year, John Vanderlaan. Watch that name. He was a kid that was out there when I was recruiting, Northeast kid, and he got his card last year or for this year. So awesome event to watch. Love Waialae. Again, Hawaii needs to stay on the tournament schedule. Um, we have one major announcement for the show, and then we will get right into this week's guest, which is Bo Hoag. Bo's an awesome guy. I think you'll hear some pretty cool stories in this one. Get to learn kind of about, one of the better kind of high school and college players in the country when he was there. Um, Really awesome guy. Got his PGA Tour card. He's won on the Korn Ferry Tour. Has an interesting background, so I think you'll enjoy this episode. But before we get to that, major announcement, as we brought to you in our last show. We have partnered up with Hook and Gaff, which was very exciting. However, we have another partnership to announce, which we kind of hinted at last week, but we are joining forces with Cricket. You may remember a previous episode with Jordan Kraus. Um, After that, we've been in contact, and they are going to be the official clothing supplier of For Love of Golf. So, how about that, fellas?
Pretty big deal. I'm pumped. I'm excited to get some gear and show it off and be a model for the podcast. It'll go
Yes.
great.
Exactly. Exactly. So we have not quite gotten the gear yet. Should be here for the next episode, which we're really pumped about. But they're just uh, some cool guys running cricket with some really cool products. We all kind of picked out some different stuff, and I think we all had some similar tastes in there. I think Ryan's got a shacket coming. Congratulations on that, Ryan. I hope it matches your watch color as well as um, your dress tonight. I'm sure you'll be looking even better next week.
I've always said if you don't know what you're doing, try to look like you know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
hopefully this will take care of that.
Yeah, I feel confident that you'll be looking very swell next week, I should say, in your new cricket apparel. Um, I'm really excited about that. I think we all are. And we look forward to bringing you some more information on cricket and what they do. It's if you haven't checked them out, go check it out. CRIQUET. Uh, you'll learn some cool stuff and see some good stuff on their website. They got a sale going right now, so go hit that up. Kind of the end of the season deal. Some good deals there. Check that out. And good Austin, Texas brand. Um, so looking forward to partnering with them. And that's a big announcement for us. We're moving up in this world, fellas.
Big time. We made it.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
They were getting there,
We're
sir.
getting there.
Just need to
I've
get on the
Work on the
golf
back.
course now. We're a golf podcast. We got to
Yeah,
get
we
on the
need to
golf course.
actually like
Exactly.
take our talents to the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start working on our backgrounds too. 'Cause
Yeah, we got to work
I,
on our.
yeah, I really need to know the story behind your picture behind your head. That's a cool one. Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. I've never actually seen the full picture. I've just seen a guy's head, so I didn't know what it was exactly. But
Yeah,
okay. Uh,
you've seen like that portion.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
man,
Exactly.
what is
Just that.
happening? Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
There we go. All
Saying
right.
a little prayer.
Yeah,
Let's
we
see.
need
What's he
that.
got there? He's got a little loaf
Little
of bread.
Brad.
Looks.
Is he
I'm
taking
imagine that's a
communion?
Bible.
Is he taking
Uh,
communion, you
he
think?
might be. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I haven't done communion with soup before. But maybe he is. I'm
Give
not
us
sure.
this day our daily bread. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
there we
Yeah,
go. All right.
daily chicken noodle.
Well, we need some good vibes. We need some good prayers for the pod and for everybody. So I like it.
I think no matter what Parker does with backgrounds going forward, that picture just has to stay. So if he
Mhm.
goes in another room, the picture has to come with him.
Well, I think it's a fairly famous picture. I'll be honest, I'm not sure who the guy is. Um, maybe I'll do some research on that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
backgrounds. I mean, we got it all covered on the background thing right now. Ryan's actually looks like golf.
Eh, yeah, part of it.
Babeling's like in a new house, so he's still trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, you put this, you started showing this on YouTube right after I moved and didn't have like my head covers and everything behind me. I had the
Listen,
great setup.
that was a personal choice. Anybody that chooses to sell their house like the week before Christmas, like it's your own deal.
Yeah,
It,
whatever happens after that, you deserve.
I mean,
I,
no one ever said I was sane.
No.
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
I have an update on the picture. Google is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
just incredible.
Well, first of all, tell me what you Googled.
I Googled man with bread
And
photo.
soup.
And it popped up immediately.
Okay.
The photograph is called Grace. It's a photograph by Eric Enstrom. It depicts an elderly man named Charles Wilden with hands folded saying a prayer over a table and a simple meal. In 2002, an act of the Minnesota state legislature established it as the state photograph. So this is apparently a very famous
Yeah,
photo was
that's
taken maybe
Papa
in
Wilden.
1918. Yeah, exactly. Papa Wilden.
So
So,
he will continue to make an appearance on this
yeah.
show now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Papa Wilden might be the mascot.
if anyone on our podcast needs a raise, it's our crack researcher who showed up
Yeah.
several
Hey,
times.
he did. He should have researched the photo in the background before this, but yeah, tremendous research team that we've got going on this podcast. As you can see just by this example right here, I mean, Hunter found that in 10 seconds.
Yeah, El Google.
I mean, this is getting pretty heavy, boys. The amount of stuff that we're doing here. We got video now. We've got partners. We got commercials. We got clothes and watches. By the way, just in case you guys are wondering, it's just a sliver. I gotta do that every time. Just a sliver of a moon tonight.
Mm,
Um, I'll give that a quarter moon. I haven't looked outside, but I don't have to.
not an eighth
Um,
moon. It's a quarter.
Yeah.
Parker, if that painting's real, it's worth $46 million if it's the real one.
It
Mm.
is. It
Norman
is. Yeah, it
Rockwell
was
bought it for
it was
$46 million. So
well, that's Uncle Norman.
yeah.
Yeah, he willed it to me.
Good, good.
So we're keeping it. It's
Good.
I try to keep it out of the sun as best I can,
Yeah,
Good.
Uncle
but
Norm thinks he got the real one. Parker's got
Yeah,
it right there.
we swapped it. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. He's getting up there. He doesn't know better at this point, but it's it's small. It's 46 million. You'd
yeah,
think
it's
you'd get something a
pretty
little
good,
bigger.
pretty good price per
You
square inch
know,
there.
I'll have to, what I need to do is change. I got another one up here that's my granddad's granddad or something. And I need to put that behind because you could see it looks like something like you'd see like Old West, like just, nobody's happy. Or all just like real gruff, in the picture from like 1870 or something. It's that one's pretty good.
Hmm.
New art on the wall every week. Maybe that's the thing. Folks, we appreciate you guys checking out this awesome show, listening to these hot opinions. We try to bring you the best of the best here. We're going to have video, so please go check out the YouTube page for Love of Golf. Check out the Instagram page at For Love of Golf Pod. Somebody beat us to the at For
Oh
Love of
man.
Golf handle on Instagram. If
Ooh.
anybody knows that guy, send him our way. All right, We'll put Justin on him, and you
Give
can
him
see he's
a stern talking to.
yeah. Justin's a mean mouth. He'll get on that guy, and we'll have that thing in no time.
You just keep writing your letters, Parker.
Justin's going to be very politically correct about getting our Instagram page back. Justin, we love you. Hunter, you're all right.
Yeah,
Ryan,
thanks.
you look
Appreciate
good.
it.
And boys, we'll do this again next week from, well, at least for me. Oh, what's his name again?
Wilden. Charles
Wilden.
Wilden, yeah.
Yeah.
No Papa Wilden
Charlie
next week.
Charlie will not be
All right.
with me next week. I will be
You can put him in the
reporting.
carry on.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
If things go as planned, I will be reporting from the PGA show, and hopefully we'll have some updates. So
They
if
they
not,
they
hey,
better be
we'll be right here.
careful when they throw that bag under in the plane that's worth
Yeah,
forty
you're
six
saying.
million dollars.
Yeah, we got a few of them. I'm not too worried about it.
Uh,
All right, fellas.
Enjoy
Again,
Orlando.
another great week. Appreciate you, boys. Let's do it again next week. If you're someone who knows it's time to put the phone down and be present with your family or in the outdoors, this one's for you. Whether your escape is the golf course, the water, or the field, Hook and Gaff Watch Company makes watches built for time that actually matters. Assembled right here in the Carolinas, Hook and Gaff watches feature scratch-resistant sapphire crystal, lightweight titanium, and rugged designs made to handle real adventure without sacrificing style, because performance should look good too. Strap on a Hook and Gaff watch and get back to what matters most. Hook and Gaff Watch Company. Time well spent. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of For Love of Golf. Again, the entire crew is assembled here for the second show in a row. That's maybe a record for us for the last
yeah.
little bit. So it's glad to have everybody here. And friend of the show, Bo Hoag, is here, which we're excited about. Bo, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. So, Bo and I have known each other for it's actually really a long time now that I think about it, but probably since, see, I was at Scioto the first time in 2008.
8, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
2008. So that's like shoot, 18 years, 17 years now. So that's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah.
Um,
You guys just
and
graduated high school in your relationship. Good job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Congrats, Bo.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
so
pretty
yeah,
funny.
Bo was a stud at Ohio State, I guess, in the 2008 time frame. Because I think we finished right around. When did you graduate from Upper
Uh,
Arlington?
'07.
Oh, seven. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're a year behind me. So you were right in the throes of the college days, which we'll get to. But again, we appreciate you coming on. And I want to get into a little bit just about you and kind of background so people can kind of know. But um, like we said, we grew up kind of in the Columbus area, and I think anybody that kind of knows you and knows kind of your family kind of knows that you were probably going to be a golfer from early on. Uh, with your days at Scioto. So tell us a little bit about growing up in Columbus. Not the the best golf climate year round, but an awesome place to grow up and play golf. Great golf state, great golf area right there in Columbus. So tell us about kind of your days early on. Not into the college days yet, but just kind of growing up at Scioto and playing golf and what that was like.
Yeah, yeah, great golf town. Columbus is. I mean, they got, a handful of, top golf courses. I don't know what you want to call them these days, top 50 or top 100. Um, but between Muirfield and Scioto and the golf club, and you got Double Eagle, you got Ohio State, Brookside. There's a lot of good golf courses right there in town. And then with the Memorial Tournament coming every year, being such a great event on tour, it's just kind of a golf town, like just between you know those two factors alone. So for me, I just liked growing up and going to the Memorial. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where it started for me. My grandpa was kind of involved with Muirfield because he was friends with Jack back in the day,
Was
and
kind of involved, right?
um, so yeah, he and Jack and Panel Savick and Ivor Young they founded Muirfield back in the 70s. So just that was kind of my first memories, just going out there, and I was a toddler, just kind of being okay, like, what is this? What are, these guys are showing up to play here once a year and the best players in the world. And um, so that's kind of where I started with just liking, the idea of playing golf. And then, yeah, Scioto Country Club. I was taking some lessons from Walker Inman. He was like a, renowned club pro, awesome player in his own right. I guess he was there for decades at Scioto Country Club. I mean, and if you'd ask in the pro industry, I mean, he's
Legend.
a goat status in there. So pretty cool to take. My sister and I would just split a giant bucket of balls, and he would, kind of coach her for 30 minutes and coach me for 30, and then kind of back and forth. So, um, yeah, that's kind of where it started, just with him, and then good little junior program there, and um, yeah, the junior play days and junior club championships and all those good things, and some really good friends. And Tanner Murphy was a good is a good player. He was a really good junior player. Played at Ohio State with me, and we're best of buddies still to this day. So just nice to have that competition on the course too, but also a good buddy. So yeah, that's kind of where it was, as a kid growing up there.
Yeah.
You had a
So
good little group,
yeah, yeah.
really. Kind of Hunter and I had that a little bit too, where we kind of fell into a group of guys all around the same age that all kind of liked it at the same time. And that's really kind of what you need to have, a successful team, I think. And you guys were obviously pretty solid with, Alex, I guess, was Alex maybe a little younger than you
Yeah.
guys?
He was a little younger than us, but obviously, yeah, Alex Redfield, he played at Scioto as well and ended up being on the Ohio State golf team with us. So, yeah, three guys there and within a couple classes, I guess, that all played teammates together in college. Um, so yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, nice that we had a little turnout there.
Yeah, it's funny how it kind of clumps together like that. Like Parker's talking about, like we kind of had that too a little bit in a very small town in West North Carolina, but it's funny how it kind of can clump together like that. But speaking of like your junior golf, so obviously pretty good junior golfers from Ohio, state of Ohio, and looks like through the research here, Parker has done. You won the state championship in 2006 as an individual player of the year. What's some of the things that you kind of remember about your junior golf days? And I'm an instructor, so like, hey, I'm coaching young kids that are want to play college golf, want to maybe play professional golf one day. Maybe what was kind of like the moment, if there was one, that maybe clicked and kind of allowed you to feel like that you were getting to that level where you could play college golf and be one of the best high school players in the country.
Yeah, I mean, think I was fortunate just to have a good, my teammates were good. And at Upper Arlington, I had, like I said, my buddy Tanner went to play Ohio State with me. We were the same class, and then we had a kid who was a year older than us, Charlie Hendrickson. He was a really good player, and he ended up playing at Miami of Ohio. Um, so, those guys would beat me every once in a while. So it was kind of like, we were just we always wanted to compete, and I feel like that was a
Yeah.
big thing for me in high school. I never forget one time just being on the range at Scioto. And I bring back my buddy Tanner again, but just I don't remember being there much without him being there as a junior. And we were hitting some balls, and we were just like everybody kind of does. You kind of hit your 7 iron until you kind of feel like you're hitting it good, and then you kind of move on to your next club. And we had at the time the head football coach at Ohio State was John Cooper. He was just on the range with us and trying to coach us up a little bit. And he's like, "All right, well, how about you guys hit 5 shots, and the guy who hits the three closest is the winner for that club." And it was kind of, we were both like, we've never really done anything like this, and but then looking back on it, I'm like, man, he was coaching us up to compete, it was like, okay, now there's something on the line. And I'll never forget when he did that, and we were kind of like, we weren't sure how to react to it, we're
Mm.
just kids, and like we were, buddies. We weren't trying to necessarily, beat each other's brains in yet.
Mm.
But it was a cool little lesson we learned, and so I was like, yeah, he's actually right. Like, we should be competing. So I think just that the best thing about being a junior golfer at a club with the other juniors, or um, high school teammates or college teammates, whatever it is. I mean, you just have that um, competition 24/7 if you want it, and then um, because when you turn pro, one day, you don't have that anymore. You kind of got to go find it. It's just not, it's not there. It's convenient when you're on a team. Um, so I kind of missed that when I turned pro, but you just kind of got to go find it a little bit more to get that competition.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny, like, I mean, looking back on my junior golf and thinking about that, not that I was, any good or anything, but like just the dumb games that we would play on the range. Like some guy at top of your backswing would tell you to hit a shot, or like, and like how important stuff like that actually is from a development standpoint. And you just develop skill and like being able to hit shots and do different things. And like those kind of intangible things that can make you a good golfer, regardless of technique or whatever it may be. And I think sometimes some of that in like the modern times gets a little lost. Like we don't allow kids as much to just play and like figure it out and go have fun. And so it's cool that you kind of remember that specifically, because I think that's a huge part of developing junior golfers for sure.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit, and then Justin, we'll go back to your question, but just because you brought it up, Bo. So when you did turn pro, which we'll get more into a little bit later, you said you had to find it a little bit. Who did you find it with? Like, who were some of the guys that you were playing practice rounds with and trying to bring that same kind of competition to during the weeks?
Yeah, I mean, like when I turned pro, I didn't get on the PGA Tour right away. I had to kind of work myself onto the tour. It was certainly a process. It was good. I mean, I kind of checked boxes as I went, and but starting out, yeah, I didn't get through Q school. There wasn't any PGA Tour U at the time. Um, so I was just kind of playing at the time. I think it was the NGA Hooters Tour the first year I played. And there were obviously some really good players on all these tours. There's good players. Any mini
Yep.
tour, there's good players. But a handful of guys that are, you're gonna go find that are gonna go play on the PGA Tour one day. On a lot of these mini tours. So I was fortunate to be able to move down to South Florida and live with another couple really good college players, Matt Hill and Kevin Foley. They were both like all American players. I mean, Matt Hill was NCAA individual champ and player of the year. I mean, good as resume as you're going to get in college.
Is he at NC State?
Yeah, he was at NC
Yeah.
State, and Kevin played at Penn State. So, being able to live with those guys, we could compete, and go play. And I remember I was playing at the time. I kind of got lucky that I could play at a course called the Dye Preserve when I moved down here, and it's still a really good club today. There's a lot of really good players. I mean, I just feel like between the Dye, the Bears Club, medalist down here in Jupiter area is like, if you're like a pro golfer, you just have that opportunity to go compete, kind of whenever you want it. The games are kind of there if you want it. And I've always liked to compete. I feel like I like to, that's how I get ready for a tournament. Everybody's different, but just having that opportunity, back to your question of where I filled that competition void, so to say, was just from playing at these, a good area here with a lot of clubs that had good players.
Pretty good spot to be.
Yeah, no, that's a great area. I was down there several years ago. I played the preserve. That's where Daniel Berger grew up, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like picking range balls, I think, starting out doing that and playing, on the side. And then, yeah, I remember the first time I played with him there. It was like, this is probably 10 years ago or something. Remember, he's younger than me, but just remember I was playing with Jeff Overton and myself, another player, and Berger played with us. The first time I ever met him, it was just kind of this like 21-year-old kid, 20-year-old, he's, what's your story? And he's like, oh, I played at Florida State for 2 years and then I'm done playing there. I'm ready to turn pro. And we're like, man, this guy, Jeff Overton's looking at me like, who is this guy? He thinks he's just, the man. Like this guy, like he was kind of like, I'm going to show this guy who,
Mm.
how it is today. And Daniel wanted to, play Jeff. At the time he was a Ryder Cup type guy, and he backed it up, man. He played great. I think Jeff and Daniel kind of have their little side action, and it was fun to see that.
I bet it was pretty funny to see like the first swing too. I mean, because he didn't have a
Yeah.
very traditional
Yeah.
Right, and
traditional
that's the
move.
first
Like,
time I
oh.
had met him, so I
Yeah,
had no idea that
yeah,
I knew obviously he was good
sure.
sound like a good college player, but I'm like, hey, this is a different game. You're gonna go play against some two Overton's. It was at the time pretty much a Ryder Cup player. It was like I was just ready to sit back and be like, this is gonna be fun. Like Jeff's gonna beat him like 6-5 or something today, and but then I learned that day how good Berger is, and so it was cool to see.
Very cool.
We need to get back to some more of those stories here in a little bit. Maybe hopping, back in time real quick. We alluded to it several times, but you stayed pretty close to home for college at the Ohio State University. Did any other school ha have a chance to get you, or was it always the plan to go there?
Yeah, no, I mean, I looked around for sure. I had actually from Scioto, head pro, you guys know, at the time was Bill Steins. He was a Wake Forest grad, golf alum, and then Don Sargent, was my coach, in high school, that helped me, be able to play good enough to even get a college scholarship. And his brother was the coach at University of Virginia at the time. Northwestern had a good golf program going on. They were kind of the best team in the Big Ten. So I was looking around at those schools a little bit. At the end of the day, I mean, it was just a little weird for me to like picture myself playing against Ohio State just because I grew up. It's just kind of what I knew going to football games since I was, 5 years old or something, just going to every home football game and basketball games. And, that's just who I was. So, but I did look around a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was just kind of Buckeye for me.
It's so cool that you had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was, just kind of just all I knew, at the end of the day. And, to go play for the team that, I always rooted for growing up, and yeah, still that I, love so much today, watching football and basketball or following the golf team and just yeah, it's the only team I'm really like passionate about. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Worked out well. I'm happy to, proud to be an alum of a good program like that.
So you had success in college, with some all Big Tens and honorable mentions. Was that like freshman year, or did it take you a while to transition into the college game? Um, and then what were your fondest memories of college? Was it a particular round or a tournament or an experience?
Yeah, so they kind of had a handful of seniors that were graduating when I was coming in. So I kind of knew like, obviously, you got to go play well in the qualifying, at the end of the day, but I feel like I had a pretty good opportunity. Like if I played well, like I could get in the lineup and as a freshman, and go play.
Okay.
And so that was a good it was a key part of my recruiting too. I felt like I was like, hey, I could come in and play, and that fall of your freshman year is like, it's you don't want to make it bigger than it is, but it's kind of a big deal to your college golf success. I mean, if you kind of establish yourself in the lineup as a freshman early on, you kind of put that in the rearview mirror. You're like, you don't have to worry about maybe necessarily qualifying for your spot, or you're at a tournament and you're like, oh man, if I don't play well, am I not going to play the next tournament? Like, fortunately, I qualified for the first tournament. It was in New Mexico, University of New Mexico's golf course. And yeah, I played really well. I had a top 10 there, and I just felt like that just set me up. I just felt like I had a little breathing room after that for the fall, and then I played pretty good the rest of the fall, and then ended up playing every match for 4 years. So that was just I'm really thankful for that. I just don't know like if I hadn't done that, maybe get off to a good start there and be all Big Ten my freshman year. I don't know. Who knows? You're kind of fighting your way into that lineup. It can happen. I've seen really good players. That can happen. It's just golf. It's tough. It's one thing here or there. But a good story, a kind of memory that I have was actually that first tournament that I played at. Everything's just new when you're college golfer, your first tournament. It's just it's different than your junior high school golf. Just a bigger deal. And we started that first hole of the first round. Um, in New Mexico. I remember my coach, Jim Brown, was just kind of following. He was walking with me just because, he probably knew I was a little nervous and just, it was a new thing for me. And I hit the fairway, hit the green, had a good shot in there, like, 30 feet or something. And I actually four putted the first hole. And I just like, I looked over at my coach. He didn't say anything, but I'm looking over and he's probably like, I just recruited this blue chip guy and gave him a nice, big scholarship, and he was going to be, this amazing guy, and he just four putted from 30 feet. First hole of his college, career, and but he came out to me. He said, you know what, that's all right. Kind of one of those, just forget it, go to the next hole. All the old sayings we all hear. And I just after that, I played awesome that first round. I mean, I think I birdied like six out of the next eight holes after that. Just totally, just he handled me really well in that situation. So funny story though. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like disaster start. You're like, what are we, what are we doing? So
That's
Yeah,
tough. That is a
that is
tough
tough.
start.
yeah,
You got it out of the way though. It's probably almost as like a, I don't know, like a shock to the system. Like, all right, now I can kind of relax. Like,
yeah,
like that's about the not the worst thing that can happen, but that's
yeah.
not a fun feeling, right? So
Yeah, it was good to get out of the way. I mean, I remember I was round one leader after, even with that. So like,
Wow.
I totally just like put that to bed early, I guess, for coach to not like think that I'm not capable of going to compete. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. So after college, you graduated 2011. Looks like you played in a couple pretty big events, Honda and Memorial, or kind of early in 2012. I mean, what do you kind of remember about that? Was that like, I mean, obviously you're pretty familiar with Muirfield and the Memorial, but like, what was that experience like being out there in some pretty big time events with the best players in the world? What are some of the things you remember from that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I played in the Monday qualifier for the Honda Classic, is what it's called. Now
Hmm.
it's Cognizant,
Hmm.
but same one thing at PGA National. And
Hmm.
uh, the qualifier was at a course down here called Maiku Lakes, and they've had it for a number of years. And it was the first PGA Tour Monday qualifier I'd ever done, and like just went out there and I don't know, just played great. I shot 65, and I was like, just got through. I was like, what are these people talking about? Like I these
I could
guys
four
need
putt and lead a tournament, and I can make it through the first
like
Monday qualifier. This
just
game's
one
easy.
for one, and like these guys are talking, they need sponsors, like all these things, like putting aside budgets and all these, stuff. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just one for one, and
Guess I'll go win it.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I wish I was that confident at the time,
That
but
reminds me of the Curtis Strange Tiger video where he's like, "You'll learn," kind of
yeah,
thing. You
yeah.
know?
No, I wish I was as confident as you
Yeah.
guys are talking
Yeah.
about. Because I was scared to death actually that when I got to the tournament and played the practice round. And I remember I was, when you Monday and you're last off, and like my tee time was like 212 or something, and you're just killing the whole day. And um, but I just remember like I went there, practiced a little bit in the morning, got some lunch, kind of stretched and warmed up a little bit, went back out and did a warm up again, and then I saw like Tiger and Lee Westwood were like teeing off on number one just as I was coming back out to the range because it's probably about the right time and they're about an hour teeing off about an hour before me. And those when you're kind of in the bad tee times. So I walked right by them when they were teeing off, and that's when I was like, "Oh man!" Like I'm just kind of knot my stomach, I'm like, "This is like, I guess we're doing this type thing." And it's not like PJ National is any pushover. I mean, like all the
Yeah.
courses I picked to Monday, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "This is like one of the most disaster-prone golf courses on tour." And but I got through it all right. I had a really good old school caddy that helped me out. He's actually Omar Uresti's brother,
Okay.
Haas Uresti, and he'd been caddying out there forever. And he just held my hand around the place, and I actually played great the first day. I think I shot like one or two under or something. So it was the same game at the end of the day. I didn't play good on Friday, and I didn't make the cut, but it was a great experience. And then to the second part of your question, the Memorial Tournament. Um, yeah, I was fortunate enough to get an exemption into that. I think being a good player at Ohio State, a local guy, and kind of growing up playing at Muirfield and a lot of connections there just to the tournament. Just, I've kind of grew up, working on the range as a kid, when I would just kind of go over and, you know, organize the practice balls and pick up tees and all that stuff. So, but it was really difficult. I wasn't ready. My game was good, but I wasn't a tour player at that point in my career, as much as I wanted to be. You want to play well so bad, like, okay, this is like your dreams coming true, like, okay, I'm playing this tournament that's been on this pedestal my whole life. And it was a little frustrating because my game just wasn't there yet to go play well there. So I wanted it almost too bad to, and I got in my own way a little bit, but incredible experience because I felt like after playing in that, um, everything else just felt a little bit easier from there on in. Because again, I mean, Muirfield's, the course is hard. There's just you can't hide. There's no places. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but one of the best things that ever happened to me. I guess that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean I can't imagine what it would be like, your home course in front of all your people, your second tour event ever, just I'm sure that was a pretty nerve-wracking experience. And I mean, you know, at that, invitational, so I mean that field, I mean Honda was, strong, but
Yeah.
Memorial's just next level, so I can't
Yeah, yeah.
imagine what that
I
week
had
was
like
like.
I think I had my like strength of schedule like at the time because back then Honda was like it was like
Yeah.
For sure.
you know cl top of the ranks. All these international players, everybody was like they just wanted to come come to Palm Beach Gardens and go play in warm weather. It was like they were getting players from all over the world, like top. I was like, and I played that and Memorial, and I was
Yeah.
like, guess we're just starting coming out with a bang. I'm not playing the I don't know, Reno Tahoe Open or something
Hmm.
coming out. Not that that's not a great event too, but I'm like, it was like I almost wish I could have had like, can I just like
A couple warm
maybe
ups. Yeah.
start like
Yeah.
somewhere else just to kind of be a little under the radar. But
Mr.
yeah.
Nicholas, can we do stable for this week?
Yeah, right. Stableford would have helped me.
Uh,
No, awesome experience. So Korn Ferry Tour days, uh, 2019, what was a big year for you? Um, I think you got the win in Portland. Um, Tell us a little bit about that. And how did that win really set you up going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I had just I kind of so I got status on the Korn Ferry Tour, I think in either for the first time either 2016 or 20, I think it was 2016 or 2017. And just kind of like had conditional status, not great, but I kind of fought my way onto the tour. Like I qualified for I think it was Raleigh actually one year. And on the Korn Ferry Tour, I mean, if you're a member of the tour, you have the ability to you can kind of turn your season around in a week if you don't have great stats. You can reshuffle with the rest of the members. It's easier to reshuffle on the Korn Ferry Tour than the PGA Tour. So um, that was big for me, was having a card and then Monday and then and playing really well in the first event I played in. And I think it was either 16 or 17. I can't remember what it was, but I finished seventh in the tournament.
Our
I
crack
was
researcher would say that that's 2017, uh, judging by our research, but we could be wrong.
2017 then. Um, yeah, so that just gave me some confidence and gave me a place to play for the rest of that year. So that kind of, got me started out there. Then the next year, 18, played pretty solid, had I think full status from the year before, so I didn't have to, you know, battle my way into tournaments. And then when I think 19 rolled around, I was just like just was playing really well. I felt really comfortable on that tour. Kind of starting to know the courses a little bit better each week, and um, just played really solid like the whole year. The funny thing about my season in 2019 was that um, I never had a top 10
hmm.
until the last event of the year, which I won. It was at Portland, like you said, and that put me to seventh on the money list. So I think that's got to be a record, that it might
Well,
stand that it's being seventh on the money list with one top 10 the entire season.
the other
Um,
thing that's really interesting, real quick, sorry to interrupt you. And again, our research guy could have screwed this up,
Mhm.
but he found that you were second on tour that year in greens regulation, eighth in scoring average.
yeah, I mean,
How's that work?
I wish I would have had more top tens just for the sake of it, but like I was finishing like 11th to 25th or like
Just
every
every
single
week.
week, and I was playing really well. Like I was just you know how golf is. You make a couple putts on Saturday or Sunday, or have a little hot stretch of 6 holes or 5 holes or 9 holes. Like I just was having trouble breaking through the whole season to kind of get to that next level where I was like competing on the back nine on Sunday. But I knew I was playing really well. Like yeah, like you said, like or striking it really well, playing good, day in day out. And then, yeah, just played really solid that last tournament. I don't know. I mean, couldn't have played much better, like for 4 days out there. And yeah, that round on Sunday that I played, um, yeah, bogey free 65 at Pumpkin Ridge, and I had to, I didn't know what the numbers were of what I had to finish. I think I was 31st entering Portland, and at the time it was 25. Went to the tour, so obviously like hey, we got to top couple something. But just was just totally just dialed in, zoned in, not really thinking about that stuff on Saturday or Sunday, and I just was like, hey, just gonna go play the best round I can play, and I didn't really look at the leaderboard that day until actually 18, like I was on the green because there just wasn't really a need. I was like, I just need to go play really well. Like if I finished, my goal was to finish top, whatever, top five, top four, kind of would get me my card, and that's would have been that's all you're really looking to do. And saw that I had like a 2 shot lead when I looked at it, and I was on the 18th green. I had like a, I don't know, 7 or 8 footer, and
Don't
I was
four
like,
putt.
yeah, exactly. No, unfortunately, I didn't think of that, but I saw that and I was like, wow, I'm gonna win the tournament. Like, and I'm not only gonna get my card, but I'm gonna win the tournament. So it was a cool moment.
And you had no idea that you were leading until you were 7 feet on 18.
No, it was the first time I
Crazy.
looked the whole day.
Man,
Yeah, and
Wow.
18's not. It's just like kind of it's a par five, but it's like kind of a tough hole. There's just a lot going on. Like it's a really awkward layup, and you got to hit a good tee shot. You kind of have to go for it. And I just hit this really good like 3 iron in there that left myself just the easiest little pitch just short of the green. And yeah, it just wasn't really a need for me to look because I was just playing really well. I was playing bogey free and making birdies, and I was like, yeah, at the end of the day, it almost helped me that I was like, my main goal was to get my card. And then if I won the tournament, that was just going to be a bonus.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I'm sure it was uh, the experience of a lifetime to win that and then secure your card. Unfortunately, it wasn't very many months after that 2020 rolled around, which made for some interesting times for all of us, but certainly in the golf world. What was it like, kind of trying to mentally and also just get your game prepared for that next step of the PGA Tour and then have it kind of be altered by COVID? Did it change much for you? Did you just kind of roll with it, or what was that first few months events and that first season like for you?
Yeah, I mean, so at that moment in time, we were doing the wraparound schedule. So I won that tournament in Portland. I got my card, and then we had the Korn Ferry Finals events, which was roughly about a month, of that, and then starting the PGA Tour season at Greenbrier at
Okay.
the time. So it was it was actually great to just. I mean, I didn't really have any time to think about it. I was just playing some of those Korn Ferry events, maybe make improve my priority a little bit. All of a sudden, the Greenbrier just kind of rolls around on its own. You don't even have time to, but it was good. I could just kind of keep the momentum going. And yeah, I played 8 events that fall, which it was a nice thing for the Korn Ferry guys. When they got their cards, like kind of just went and played right away.
you're
You can
playing
Yeah.
kind of,
well,
you're
so
you're
it's
riding
nice to,
momentum the
yeah.
whole year, and it's like you're not, some guys are. I don't know, it's, how it is. You get the time off, and it's like, okay, some guys start trying some new equipment, or they, start working with their coach because they think they need to, this and that, and it's like all of a sudden, it's like, um, it was nice to have that fall season just kind of, right around it's just happening, just kind of didn't. There was no time off. It just went. So played pretty well in the fall. Then played, had some good events in the spring of 20. Then the lockdown thing happened where we didn't play for a little while. But looking back on it, I mean, honestly, it might have been a good thing for me just to have that because we had been playing a ton. Just it just felt like it was. I played a ton of events on Korn Ferry in 2019. Then you add the 3 or 4 Korn Ferry Finals events. That's, I don't even know. I mean, you're looking at like 27 Korn Ferry events. Maybe if you get to 30 with the Korn Ferry Finals, then you're looking at 8 PGA Tour events in the fall, 40 events, in 2019. So,
Like VJ
um,
Singh stuff right there.
yeah, I mean, as a rookie on tour, for the first time, you're definitely not, thinking you're just loving every event,
Yeah.
that you're getting into, and you're not even thinking that. But looking back on it, might have been good just to have a little, month or two where I was like, okay, I'm gonna take just a little time out, and just like, just digest everything for a second, and then, kind of recharge because we were all just ready to play it.
Yeah.
I think it was Colonial actually. That was like the first event, and we were everywhere. It was just, I mean, man, if you were down here in Jupiter, just watching people like we didn't know what to do. And I mean, there were guys committing to Colonial to play in that tournament that you're like, you've never played Colonial in your 20-year career. Like, but everybody was committing to Colonial and playing it,
Yeah.
and it was just like it was cool. Everybody was ready to play again.
Yeah.
Well, you clearly, I'd say you've clutched up several times. We talked about, uh, winning in Portland, and then that year you kept your card on the number. I think you were Mr. 125, right? So, like, clearly, you had a big carrot, in Portland and playing in those events, to try to get your card. So what's it like going to, I assume was it Wyndham, I guess, for
Hmm.
the last event to try and, I don't know where you were going into the week, but what was that week like trying to keep your card at that point?
It was tough. I mean, it was just like, yeah, you're thinking about it a lot. Kind of it's there. I like to see it's kind of like it's almost like stars in the sky, like they're there at all, but you're trying not to really look at them. They're like, it's there, like it's gonna be there, and like I know that people are gonna PJ Tour media is gonna want to talk to me, like after maybe they haven't really wanted to talk to me much the whole season, but all of a sudden you get in that position, like might be a couple extra cameras showing up here and there, a couple maybe an interview or two that they want to talk to you about it and this and that, and um, so. Friday was tough, of Wyndham because, hey, look, I think I can't remember what it was. I think it was like 122 maybe or somewhere in there heading into that, maybe 123. Um, so, Friday rolls around. You wake up Friday morning, you're like, man, I gotta play well today. If I don't play well today, I'm done. You gotta get points, like you're gonna drop out if you don't get any points. So Friday was tough. And then, but I played well. I made the cut Saturday and Sunday. You know, I think I played okay. Just like I maybe finished, I don't know what it was, 35th or 40th, somewhere in there. Got done on Sunday. Um, it was just so much. I was playing with Cam Davis on Sunday, and he was well inside the, 125 at the time. And I just remember being like, man, this tournament's just so much easier for you right now than it is for me. Like he's just going, it's not. It's just like, how much easier is it for this guy? He doesn't. I have to play on the bubble the entire day. Well, I'm like trying to also just play a normal tournament on tour, like he is, and I got done, and they have some guy like with a laptop in the scoring area. For some reason, they like to just add to the drama. I'm like, I don't really even need to see this. Like, it's not, I'm not that guy. Like, I don't need to crunch down to the decimal. And he's telling me like, oh, here's if this guy does this. It was when I was finished, there was still 2 or 3 hours, maybe two hours of play left. And the guy was like, I just remember he said to me, he's like, well, looks like I'm going to give you about a 50-50 chance of survival, is what he said. I'm like,
Oh gosh.
Nice.
survival?
Thanks,
Like, come
man.
on, man. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I know it's everything to me right now at this moment, and it did feel like that. But I remember telling my wife that when I got back in the car, she was on the too. It's like, he just told me I got a 50-50 chance of survival. And so we just kind of had to hang out because we didn't know where we were going. Like we were just in Greensboro. Like I didn't know the next week was Boston for Northern Trust. And if I got in, then I was going to go there. If not, go back home for a week or something. So we were just hanging out like in Greensboro and like not knowing, I didn't even, I'd turn my phone like off. I was like, we actually went and just went to some like park. We watched like a little league baseball game for like an hour. It was great.
That's
It was
awesome.
awesome. And I just told my caddy, I said, just call Kristen, when this thing's all done, just call her and tell me whether, where we're going. And so he called my caddy Dave Stone, called Kristen and said, Dave, we're good to go. I actually finished 124. And then Wyndham Clark finished 125 after Greensboro. So, and then, yeah, so we went to Boston the next day. Um, It was great. Yeah.
That's a good feeling. And Wyndham can't be like the easiest place to be on or near the bubble because it's like you can't go out and you can't play like decent and just string off a bunch of pars and feel good about it because they go
Yeah.
so low. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
feel like if you're not making
Yeah, you
several
kind of,
birdies,
yeah,
it's
you
kind of like,
gotta,
oh gosh.
yeah, right. You gotta keep going with it. It's not like you can, it's not like you're like Torrey South where you're like, okay, let's make, 16 pars, a birdie and a bogey today, and that's a good round. It's like you kind of got to keep it going. So yeah, I was some funny like 48 hours there that 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 year at that place. Yeah, it worked out well. In hindsight. I think I remember like making the cut kind of did it for me. I think if I missed the cut, I would have been out of the 125. So it was cool to go play the FedEx Cup. So yeah,
Yeah, it's really cool. So the next year you kind of got your redemption, I guess, a little bit
yeah,
memorial. What, like tell I mean T13, like that had to have been, especially with the first experience, like and all the pressure and everything like that, that had to have been pretty cool to be able to play well at a place that meant so much to you. Just tell us a little
yeah,
bit about
yeah. Yeah. Look, stepping back to 2012 when I played that first one when I
that.
just
Hmm.
wasn't, I was a good college player, but I wasn't a PGA Tour player. It's my game just wasn't there at that time. I just remember leaving the memorial and I was so sad, when I just didn't play well. I missed the cut and I was like, man, that was really like it was so hard just mentally. I was like, I don't know if like, how would I'm so far off of competing with these guys. Like, and I'm just like, I don't how am I ever even gonna make you make a cut here, like just that or just even get back to this tournament just to get a tee time. And so yeah, to come back, you know, with a lot of lessons learned and a little bit better golf game. Um, just came out Thursday and played really well. I think I shot 4 under on Thursday, and yeah, it was a good start. And then I just played like solid. I mean, I didn't play like lights out after that, but I just played solid all the way in from there. I just remember like it's one of those, how golf is. It's like kind of all you can ask for is like not to get in your own way. Like just let
Sure.
yourself play like the way you can play. And I did that the last 3 days. Like, yeah, I left a few out there. Like I could have, wanted another 68 or two, but I was kind of hovering around par. I was playing tough that week and um played with Spieth on Sunday. Played Hideki on Saturday and Spieth on Sunday. I think Hideki may have won the Masters that year. Anyway, it was cool. There was, we had it kind of added to the whole thing, like just good pairings on Saturday and Sunday, and um, yeah, just made a good par on 18 on Sunday, and ended up being Spieth by a shot. It was kind of like, hey, to play, be the Hall of Fame player, and
Sure.
um, so it was just cool. It was a good, just making that putt on eight. I made a good par putt on 18. 18 is just such a hard hole there. And, just hitting the greenside bunker on Sunday and that tough bunker shot hit to like 15 feet or something. It just made the putt. And I was just like, I'm so glad I made that putt. I'm just
I bet
done.
that
Like,
felt good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never been so excited to par the last hole. Like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
just felt like an eagle at the time. But, yeah, it was cool. Just having like, just everybody there. It was kind of like, you know, one of my moments in golf, just for me personally. Like, it was, kind of in the mix on Sunday, it was later tea time, and, got my people out there, and Columbus people. And
Sure.
I just remember one of my friends' wives was like crying on the 18th green. I was like, this isn't that big of a deal. Like, and I was just like, maybe it is to some of these people. And it was funny. I was like, I can't believe she's crying. Like this
Sure.
is so funny. So yeah, it was a great week. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's super cool, and it's awesome. Like the full story, kind of full circle moment there is pretty cool. So I can see that how that would mean a lot to you and the people around you and everybody in Columbus, and that's pretty cool. And kind of along those lines, Parker kind of mentioned it earlier, but obviously you've had a relationship with the Nicklaus family for a long time, and like pretty cool to be like, yeah, just as a kid, I kind of grew up around the Nicklaus family. Like that's pretty cool. So is there any like I don't know, interesting stories or information you can give us about some of that and like being around Mr. Nicklaus or anything there that's kind of sticks out?
Yeah, I mean, went to the same high school as Jack, Upper Arlington, Ohio State. So I wasn't gonna, try to follow those footsteps by any, there's just no, you're not gonna win that. So, and I, was smart enough at a young age to know that. But what was nice was that I knew that that path worked for him obviously very well. So I knew that that opportunity was there to, to go to those two schools and grow up in Columbus, and he made it from that. So, and I took some confidence in that. But been fortunate to have him as a family friend and a mentor, kind of a little bit of both. I mean, it started out as a family friend, my grandpa, and then, when I became a college golfer and pro golfer, it was a little more of a mentorship, but still a friendship, and yeah, I just saw him the other day. I played the member at Bears Club, and he's just in there playing gin in the
Nice.
men's locker room. He's there just about every day, playing gin in there. And I think that he likes gets his competitive fix in there. But yeah, just pretty fortunate just to have have him if if I've ever needed to talk to him or ask him a question, every single time I've been able to do it. And it's funny when like people talk to him or they want to get advice, and I'll ask him, and what do you think? This is where I'm at, and I'm trying to do this and this, and he says, well, he goes through it. It's the same similar message each time. He's like, kind of pick apart this golf course, and never make it. I never made it hard on myself. I just tried to make it so I never had some shot that was going to stress me out to like was just gonna, that something really bad could happen, or that I really, just making it easy on himself. And, there's times where like, I feel like I might have like a 6 iron or something, and I'm hitting it into, pin's back right or something. And, I miss it to the right of the green. And he's like, oh, you can't short side yourself there. Like, you got to go to the middle of the green. And I'm like,
I wasn't trying
I'm
to.
thinking of like
Yeah.
I am trying to go to the middle of the green. Like I am 198 yards out. All right, like we're just not as good as you were. Like it's like believe me, I was not flag hunting back right with a 6 iron,
It
but
doesn't occur to him that
we're
you
just
don't have
yeah. You
control
were just
over
you were
it.
just so good that you didn't have to like you just okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the 6 iron in the middle of the green.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the like funny thing that I think people when they talk to Jack and they want to maybe get a little piece of advice or hey man, what was your secret? How did you? And he had a one shot lead at Augusta. Like, what was your thing? Like, what did you do? And like, I think it was just like the game was just that easy to him. Like it was a game, and it was just a simple game to him. And it was like nobody else has that. And they were very, maybe Tiger, a couple of the greats, where it's truly that simple. And they want some elaborate answer or some method that he had, and he was like,
Yeah.
I just, I hit the fairway and I hit the green, and had some one putts along the way, and like it just was that. I think it was that simple to him,
Yeah. I mean,
and people can't understand that.
the way you describe it reminds me of that video. It was, I don't know, 20 years ago when he's opening some new course and Johnny Miller and him are playing. It's like this
Yes, that's
crazy 80-foot putt or
fantastic. That's
whatever.
one
And
of
Yeah,
the best ever.
Johnny Miller's like, what? Designing this hole or whatever. And he's like, no, it's easy. Just go here. And he jars
yeah,
it from 80 feet
yeah.
over
That
two
was
tiers or
amazing.
That's
whatever.
a
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's unreal.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
exactly.
great clip.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what he said to you after you played well at the Memorial?
Yeah, I just remember seeing him in kind of hangs out in the captain's grill there. He likes, just talking to the players at that tournament. When you like if you go in the locker room, it's just kind of hanging out in there. He wants to meet each player, wants to maybe hear, their golf story, or maybe a guy, made an eagle on a par five, like kind of wants to know, like, hey, how'd you do that? Like, would you hit it, or what part of the fairway were you in, this and that? So always kind of in there. And yeah, I just remember him. I got to talk to him for a minute in there after that, and um, just saying that my grandpa is probably just hanging around somewhere. He wasn't with us at the time. Passed away a little earlier before that tournament, but said he's probably out there watching a little bit today, and so that was cool just to have that little moment there. But it's at that tournament, it's like you can get a couple more minutes from him. I feel like there's just so much he's got going on, and he does such a good job of like connecting to so many different things within the memorial. But just to have that couple minutes there was kind of cool after that,
Yeah, I bet that was a pretty special day.
no doubt.
For sure. Well, I'm so glad I learned something today that, all these years I've just been making golf too difficult on myself.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
Yeah,
I mean, next time I'm gonna go out and make it easy next time.
yeah.
I'll be good to
It's
go.
sounds great in theory until golf will start happening. So, but yes, the theory is 10 out of 10.
All right, so maybe to kind of wrap us up here or get close to the end, one non-golf related question. So our crack researcher hasn't let us down yet, but they would also say that you're a car guy, away from
Yeah,
golf.
I am.
So what's the daily driver right now? And if there was kind of a dream car, what would that look like?
And it's good stuff here. I like talking cars. I'm driving a BMW 5 Series, and I love it. I've kind of always wanted that. I saw Mark Brooks
Hmm.
back in, I don't even want to know, probably around 2000 at Memorial, back to when I was, working the range as a kid. He pulled in there in just a sweet like M5 sedan, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, this guy's on tour, and he's got that sweet car. Like, that's pretty sweet. So I was like, I've always had this thing for 5 Series because it's like a big enough sedan that I can take my kids out, my wife, we can all go out for dinner, and I can put my clubs in the trunk, and there's no, we can fit stuff in there, but it's still sporty enough that I don't feel like I'm an old geezer down here, clogging up traffic or something. So, and then to the second part of your question, the car that I really want, man, there's so many, but
You can have multiple. That's fine.
trying to think how I want
Throw
to
us a
say
few.
this. Okay, so I would go. All right, there's a few. All right, I want a 2005 Ford GT,
Okay.
the sports car.
Yep. Okay.
It's such a unique
It's a
car.
heavy one to start with.
Yeah, that's like peak dream car right there. And then I think it would actually be kind of sweet to have, like, being down here in Jupiter, beach car, like going, take the kids, go to the beach. You're not taking that thing to the beach. I don't like taking my car to the beach. The sand gets in there and all that stuff. So, like, either a old Jeep Wagoneer with
Yeah.
wood on the
Yep.
side
Yep.
and just like totally beach this thing out. Um, or like the old school Broncos, like with no top on it, like those things are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars these days. They're just insane. They're pretty cool though. You see them every once in a while. So some kind of like beach car like that, I would say. Um, and then one more, the Ferrari, I think it's called just FF. It came out like 15 years ago. My buddy and I are like, this is the car, man. It's like a station wagon Ferrari. So like Ian Poulter is a big Ferrari guy. He's a big
Yeah.
car guy. I played with him one time. We were talking about it, and he's like, dude, I can fit my staff bag in the back of this Ferrari FF like that. And I was like the, you can fit his whole, he can get his 4 seats and his staff bag in there. I was like, it's a sleeper kind of Ferrari, but it's cool.
It
So
reminds me a lot of the what is it, the Porsche
Yeah,
Panamera or
yeah, the
yeah,
Panamera exactly.
similar.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I've
It's
never seen this car. I'm
yeah,
looking at now. It's
Ferrari.
very similar. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, check it out. I think it's called FF. They've had a new iterations of it, but that was the original one. It's like a it's a funny looking car. Like you just wouldn't think it's not something you'd see all the time. So
Maximum speed 208 miles an hour, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.7 seconds. So
yeah,
it'll get you around too.
what's your staff bag in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're late
slam
for
it
a
through the
tee time,
clutch.
that's the perfect car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hunter knows about that.
couple
Hunter
Yeah.
car
should have been driving
seats,
the Ferrari
staff
FF.
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, thank you for that. As a final question, what does 2026 look like for you? What's on the docket? What's the schedule look like?
Yeah. I've got status on the Korn Ferry Tour right now. Got two little ones at home. I got a 3-year-old daughter, 8-month-old son. So, we've been doing the family thing a little bit. Still been playing, and my game's still good. I still feel like, I can go compete on the PGA Tour right now. So, we're working on that. It's a little new phase. Um, having four of us now, all trying to kind of share this goal and dream that of me playing on the PGA Tour. So yeah, it's been a great balance. I fortunate just to be down here in a such a good golf area that I can go compete with these guys and keep my game sharp and yeah, we'll see. I think you know like to think that I'm a week away from playing
You've
well on
been
the
there before.
Korn Ferry Tour, and getting maybe a good little lane to maybe back to a tour card here sometime in the near future. But you never know. I'm not. I love to play out there and take my family out there on tour. Be a goal of mine. Be cool to do that with them. So yeah, just chipping away at it, and yeah, loving every minute of it. It's been a good run. I'm just I love playing golf. I love having just a wedge in my hand, and I'm just putzing around the driveway with my kids or something. So yeah, still feel yeah, like I've got some good golf in there. So yeah.
Definitely right in the prime time right now. So
Hmm.
that's a lot to look forward to. Well, again, we appreciate you coming on. Keep the sand out of your car and get you a Bronco so you can go to
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get the beach car. Go play. Yeah, it's all part of the thing. I go play good so I can go get these cars.
That's
That's
right.
that's a big
You can get
key
your Ferrari
prize.
station wagon.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's a great one. You know you've done well if the Ferrari you buy is the FF, right?
Yeah, yeah, the FF. Get the family in there and get the staff back in the back.
Maybe it
So,
stands for family friendly.
might be right.
Bo, you're the man. We
Yeah,
appreciate it. We're pulling
yeah.
for you and
Thank you.
looking forward to seeing you playing some more. Hopefully, we can run into you somewhere. I think the last time I probably saw you was at Wyndham one year. So
Yeah,
hopefully, we'll bump into you somewhere. Maybe we can tee it up
yeah.
again sometime and play well.
Really enjoyed being on. Thank you guys for
All
having me. It was
right.
fun
Yeah.
talking golf.
Appreciate it, Bo. Thanks, man.
Thank
Thanks,
All
you.
Bo.
right. You guys have a good one.
You
Night.
too.
See ya.